Hi guys, this is deeply concerning. Once again, Elon Musk, like last year, is getting involved in situations he clearly doesn't understand, and he's amplifying the accounts of far-right individuals and absolute idiots. What is the goal here? Is it truly to bring down the British government, or is it just to attack Keir Starmer? I still don't know, and whether he'll achieve it or not remains to be seen. Now, he retweeted a clip from a right-wing account on his platform, which I'll get to in just a moment. But a few other people obviously had to get involved, like Liz Truss, who is probably not getting enough attention at home. So she said, we know whose side they're on, and it's not the people of Britain. So this is in reference to the clip I'm going to show you in a moment. And Elon Musk, of course, retweeted this, amplifying Liz Truss because he had to. If the current British government is not on the side of the people of Britain, then they are, by definition, traitors. So he's calling the British government traitors. And he said it again here in this clip that I'm going to show you, which was put together by a right-wing account and, of course, amplified by Elon Musk. A government that puts foreigners above its own people is, by definition, treasonous and illegitimate. The people of Britain deserve a government that represents their interests, not those of shadowy foreign organisations. And what he means by shadow foreign organisations is, well, the United Nations, it seems. So have a listen to this clip. This is the Education Secretary being asked about the closure and then reopening of the Bell Hotel in Epping.
Your lawyers, under your guidance, have said in terms that the rights of asylum seekers are more important than the rights of local people in Epping Forest. Would you at least acknowledge that that is what they will hear? And it's up to you. Ministers can say, we agree with that, or we don't agree with it. You can't simply say, let's balance things. Do you agree with what your lawyers said, or don't you?
Yes, of course we do. But
okay, and then it was ended. It was cut there. Okay, so obviously what she's talking about is we have obligations. We have international obligations to house asylum seekers. You know, we don't allow them to work, so we have to provide them with housing. Otherwise, they become destitute. Otherwise, they become homeless, and then they end up on the street. So we have international obligations to provide accommodation for asylum seekers while their claim is being processed. We don't allow them to work. That's a separate issue. The Conservatives didn't allow them to work either. I think it goes back to the time of Tony Blair. But there was a decision, a political decision, we're not going to allow asylum seekers to work, so we have to provide them with accommodation until their case is processed. If they're successful, then they're moved into a different status and eventually housing becomes their issue. And if they're not successful, they're deported. Now, this is the reality of the situation. Elon Musk either doesn't understand this, or he does, and he's amplifying right-wing accounts for some reason. Now, once again, I don't know the objective here. Is it to bring down the British government? Is it just to attack Keir Starmer? Is it because he's bored? Is he not getting enough attention himself at home, like Liz Truss? I honestly don't know what he's trying to do here. Because while he's very well known online, of course, very few people know what he's up to, what he's about offline. And it's people offline who will go and vote. You know, it's not just the internet. And while he amplifies right-wing accounts, this has an impact also offline. It's mainly online. This is where people can organize. This is where these protests are organized as well. People get online, they say, okay, we're going to this hotel or we're going to this place. Let's organize our protest. Let's organize our marches or whatever. And if he's amplifying these types of accounts, it's going to result in more people getting involved. So while he has a huge influence online, it, of course, has an impact offline. But when it comes to voting, well, the people are going to vote for the government if they're happy with the government, or they're going to vote against the government if they're not happy. But, of course, people get their information from the likes of Twitter and social media and the mainstream media, of course, as well. So he is certainly having an influence. But what does he want to achieve? It seems he is currently no longer interested in Nigel Farage and has moved on to Rupert Lowe and Ben Habib, which of course are further to the right of Nigel Farage. But what he's doing is dangerous. He's calling the government illegitimate. He's saying that they're treasonous if they're putting foreigners above British people, which is ironic, of course, because he's an immigrant to the United States, but he never really brings up that point. Should he be prioritized over American people? Well, I presume he thinks he should be. Doesn't have a problem there. But this is really worrying because, as we saw last year, when the riots and certain accounts during those riots were amplified, it had serious consequences. So I don't know how we deal with this. We just call it out, but the government need to consider certain actions when it comes to the likes of Elon Musk and social media, because this runs the risk of ending up offline as well as online. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.